Hi, I'm Ian and welcome to Executive Grooves. My guest today is Paul Joyce, who was a previous Mayor of Northampton, the 784th Mayor of Northampton. And I met Paul when I was working with charities, the Lewis Foundation in particular, and he was the Mayor and his chosen charity was the Lewis Foundation. I talked to him about some of his experiences and how he relates to the role of Mayor. In fact, what is the role of Mayor? Um, so let's just listen to Paul. It's a great story. Hope you enjoy it. Hi, good morning, Paul, and welcome to Executive Grooves.
Good morning, Ian. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, all good. Great to have you here, and I'm looking forward to listening to your perspectives on life. And if I remember rightly, the first time we met was back when I was doing a pantomime production of Dick Whittington, which is all about the mayor, and through a fundraising thing we were doing for, I think it was a charity, the Lewis Foundation, which was your chosen
That's right.
charity at the time. We got to meet, and you were the mayor. In fact, you were the 784th Mayor of
Yes.
Northampton. And the event was a dinner where we had an Elvis impersonator. And I remember this well because I thought the Elvis impersonator was great, but he handed you the mic. What happened next?
It was my musical debut, Ian. I stepped up and the room didn't clear, so I think I must have sang okay. It was my first and maybe my last performance singing with Elvis. So a very memorable night on different levels.
I think you understate your performance, right? If I remember right, everybody in that room was singing along, standing, punching the air, doing all the usual things. So you had the crowd on their feet. I remember it
Wow.
well. Um,
Great night.
it was a great night and for a great cause.
Absolutely, indeed. Yeah.
So let's rewind the tape a little bit. Let's take you back a little while, a few years, back to your teenage years. What sort of music were you listening to at the time?
Well, my mum absolutely loved the Beatles. So growing up in our house, we had a lot of Beatles playing all the time. So that they were pretty much ingrained onto my brain. The vocals of John and Paul, the harmonies, I still love it till this day. Then as I sort of really hit my teenage, it was so my older brother. It's funny how older brothers always influence your musical taste. So I remember my older brother coming back from a Bruce Springsteen concert in 1980, and I think The River was the album of the time. So we had a lot of Bruce Springsteen being played, and I absolutely love Bruce Springsteen. I've seen him quite a few times now. As a musician for the ages, so a lot of Bruce. First single I ever bought was Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. So absolutely loved that song. I love the sounds. I love the production on it. And pretty much it's that ongoing relationship with music. So yeah, I love my music. But the Beatles, Springsteen really, for me, were great. And it's funny, right at the end of my teenage years, I started going to concerts. And I remember one day, I think it's probably in the early 1990, my good friend Zane, we went down to the Marquee Club in Tottenham Court Road. And
Remember that?
it was the start of the grunge era,
Oh,
and
okay.
I saw a band called Soundgarden, and it was I think one of their first tours to the UK, and their lead singer was a guy called Chris Cornell, and absolutely his vocals were second to it, blew me away, and it's pretty much at the start of that music movement, grunge, and I saw lots of the subsequent bands like Nirvana, Mudhoney, them sort of bands from that era, Alice in Chains. So I was very lucky I was the age 19, seeing that at that point. It was a fantastic experience. And I followed Soundgarden, and obviously we lost Chris a few years ago, but his vocals are still sent shivers down my spine. So, but yeah, one of the greats for me. And I was very lucky to be there at that point, you know. So, yeah, and then we had Britpop into my 20s. So, being lucky to sort of have their musical eras to sort of live through, you know, so fantastic times.
Indeed. So wind forward a few years. So that teenager who was listening to all those energetic bands is now Mayor of Northampton. How did that happen?
Well, it was a strange journey to become the mayor. So becoming a councillor initially, because you have to be a councillor to be the mayor.
Hmm.
I was going up to a meeting, and my friend who was a councillor said, "Look, we've got elections coming up. Did you fancy stepping up to be a councillor?" So I said, "Okay." I gave it a go. That was in 2014. I become a councillor in 2017 on my third attempt. We had a change of council. I was sitting on the town council. The lead councillor sort of said to me, "Would you like to be the mayor?" And I straight away, wow, I never thought I would ever get that opportunity. And straight away I said, yeah, I would love to do it. And yeah, 2024, 2025 was my year, and I had an absolutely fabulous year. What a big honour it was for me.
So what went through your mind? What was it that drove you to say yes when you were asked?
Well, I mean, when you sit in council, I mean, when the mayor takes the council meetings, you know, you see how council works, and the mayor is the chairman of the council, and so it's just being a chairman. I've done that a few times in the past with my union hat on, so it's like being a chairman, really, you know. But again, obviously a high honour. The mayoralty in Northampton I think it's the third oldest in the country, so it's got a lot of prestige and honour as well. So I knew about the history of it, and being able to become part of that. I couldn't resist it. You know, I thought I've got to step up and do this because it's never going to come my way again. I'm not a councillor anymore, so I'm glad I did step up when I did. You know, obviously, so it was something I shall always have with me. But a great year for me, not for me, for myself and my wife as well, and we loved every moment of it. I met so many great people and different organisations as well. They're all fabulous.
You talk very enthusiastically about it. So for those of us listening to this podcast who don't know what the role of a mayor is, perhaps you could just describe what a mayor is and what a mayor does in the community.
Okay, so the Mayor of Northampton is a civic role. So mayors like Andy Burnham, Siddiq Khan, they're metro mayors, so they're mayors with power. So the one for Northampton is a civic role. You become the first citizens of Northampton. You're going around, obviously, there's the mayor's card, there's a bit of prestige. You wear the chains, which are historic chains as well. There's the Mace Northampton as well, which usually comes along with the mayor. So there's symbols, you know, and I think it's this country is a lot about symbols, really, isn't it? But I think you don't appreciate when you go to your first two sort of meetings a day, you're meeting different people and organisations. People are really happy to see a mayor, you know, like they're really, wow, it's the mayor, you know. So it brings along with it status in a way, and I still was trying to get my head around that in a year. You know, people, you know, bowing. I would now say, look, don't bow to me. You know, like I'm just like you. I'm a postman. You know, like I'm an ordinary guy. You know, who's been lucky enough to become the mayor. So, an opportunity to see what was really going on in Northampton with charities, different organisations, meeting great individual people as well, and what makes Northampton tick and what makes Northampton work. You know, so it was. I mean, we had probably over 250 plus meetings and functions we went to over the course of the year, and more probably ones I've forgotten about as well. But yeah, it was great just to see that side of Northampton and what a brilliant town Northampton is, you know, and I love it. You know, I think we need to talk up Northampton more, but just to be in the mayor for that year, brilliant.
So I remember you telling me at one of the events, okay, you set your mission out to do a particular number of events, and
Yes.
I think you were either trying to do a few more than your predecessor or somebody a few years ago. And you quoted me the number, and you've just said 250. But I remember thinking that's a lot of events when you think there are only 365 days in a year, and it is only a 1 year role, isn't it? If I remember right.
Yeah, it's a fine balance in that. It's a lot of functions, and I sort of said, I think at the start of it, I said to my wife, look, you know, we can get through this. It's only 1 year in your life, and you know, I said, as you get older, years go very quickly, and that year flew past really quickly. You know, it was a balance in that because I was working in the day as well, so I was doing my day job, going in the morning, obviously getting home for functions that could start at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock, and then that would roll around to the evening time. But at the back of my mind, it was always, this is for 1 year, and you know, it's a great opportunity. But at the end of it, we was absolutely drained. So it was very it's energising, but at the end of it, it's just like, oh, knackered.
And,
So it was
the
great.
traditions literally go back 784 or perhaps 785
Yes.
years now. So things like the mace is 700 years old? Or is it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I said it's a symbol. I mean, the mayoralty, I believe, was the first mayor of Northampton was a guy called William Tilley, and it was back in 1215 he became the very first mayor of Northampton. So you're looking over 800 years of history, you know, and they've got a lot of room in the Guildhall called the Shield Room, and I think it's on the second or third floor. And you go up there, and there's a shield with every mayor of Northampton's name on it, you know, and it's my name's on the shield up there alongside of mine. That's still, for me, that's wow, a wow moment, you know. So there's a long history, and in a way, I never thought in a million years I would be part of that history. And there you go.
Uh, and there's a mayor's parlour, isn't there, which has got a particular room in it that I remember they were telling us about when I went.
Yes, so the Queen, I believe, visited in 1981. I think she's visited 3 times Northampton, and she used the mayor's rooms when she visited, and I believe that to convert a room in the mayor's chamber to a toilet for the Queen. So, so it's
Because she obviously
still
wouldn't
remains to this day.
she obviously wouldn't use a public toilet in Northampton.
Absolutely not. No, so unheard of. So there you go. There's a little bit of a story there.
Indeed. So you had particular charities that you chose for your year in
Yes.
office, didn't you?
Yeah,
So
it was the Lewis Foundation. Yeah, it was, and Lorraine and Lee. And you know, it's so before you become the mayor, you have to go around meeting charities. And I think I met Lorraine. I think they were the first people I met. I met Lee at the Elgar Centre, and he was so passionate about obviously what they were doing for sort of raising sort of awareness about cancer, and obviously the involvement they'd had with the Talbot Butler ward in Northampton. Now that resonated with me because my mum, I mean, God bless her, she's been gone 24 years, but she had cancer and she was in the Talbot Butler ward, so she'd gone through that treatment. So I could well relate to what Lee was telling me about what would happen with his own mother and what he'd seen, and he was trying to make a difference, and that really resonated to me, you know. So in the end, I sat with Mylissa. Mylissa was aware of the great work the Lewis Foundation did as well, you know, and it had to be them. And we had a great year. It was quite lots of innovations, sort of fundraisers along the year, you know, and it was a great journey, you know, to be alongside them, but letting us be part of the Lewis Foundation's journey, you know. So it was a great year to work alongside Lorraine and Lee.
So you said that we could do with talking up Northampton more. What are the opportunities that a new mayor would have to talk up the town, to promote the town, to make town better? Where do you see those opportunities?
I mean, there we'll go to lots of different functions across the town. It's, you know, in a way, I suppose it's each mayor's got their own different personality, and I suppose for that year, the mayor of Northampton is your personality. And, you know, for me, it was to try to be as energetic, take part in as much as I could do to understand how the town works. And, you know, Northampton, it's going through a massive change at the moment. There's a lot of regeneration going on at the moment. And it's going to, I know it's brilliant now, but in about 3 or 4 years' time, and all the construction's done, it's going to be a fabulous place to come to. And it is now, you know. So it's just, you know, I mean, for me, I got to know, obviously, I was a West Northampton councillor as well as a Northampton town councillor. So I was a dual hatter. So getting to know Adam Brown as well, who was the leader of the council for my year as well. We had a good sort of relationship. I met him at many functions, and I knew he was really passionate about Northampton as well, and West Northamptonshire. Just talking up the town and doing it the best. And, you know, we've got some great history. We've got a history here. The Mayoralty's over 800 years old. We've got some fabulous buildings. My favourite building's the Guildhall. I love that room. The Mayor's Chamber's great. Yeah. You know, there's some great rooms and some great undiscovered places. We've got a great museum, brilliant streets, Giles's Street. You know, it's all here. And I think, you know, we are blowing our trumpet now about Northampton. It's a great place. And I think it's brilliant now. In 5 years, so it's going to be the place to come to. Absolutely.
Wow. There's an advert. And actually, it's a common trait in life. The human tends to focus on the negatives, the flaws, the weaknesses. But actually, if you sat and thought about it, there are so many good things about Northampton, as there probably are about any other town. But we are talking Northampton today. Let's take you back a little bit. So you liked the Beatles, you liked Bruce Springsteen. From what I know about you, I dare say you were very energetic and you enjoying that music. But looking back now, if you could give that younger person one piece of advice, what would it be?
I think if I spoke to my younger self, or just about something I work in life, it would be braver, believe in yourself more, and go with your heart, I think, anyway. Because I think when I was 16 in the 80s, it was pretty much, I left school at 16. And then my dad, I remember, look, you've got to get out and get a job. And so really, I don't think I had time to really think about what I want. I mean, who knows what I want to do when they're 16? I think not many people do. So that's where my sort of working life started. So yeah, I'd say be braver, be bolder. Take a chance, because doors open and close at different times in your life, and sometimes you have to wait till that door opens for you, and when you're ready, you step through it, and you never know what's ahead. So I think my journey, becoming the mayor, I never thought in a million years that would happen for me, and from my humble beginnings to now, I've been so lucky. I do count my blessings.
So, coming back to the music, and this is
Okay.
Executive Grooves is all about music. So in your life today, you're no longer a teenager. I don't think you're a teenager. But what sort of music do you listen to now for energy or for relaxation?
Oh, that's a good. I mean, I have gone back to Bruce. I'll always go back to Bruce. That's my touchstone. I do listen to stuff from the 90s, a bit of rock music, a bit of grunge, bit of Britpop. I mean, we saw Oasis last year. We saw them back in the day, and we saw them again last year, and that was the energy in that stadium last year was nothing I've ever experienced before. It was such a feel-good experience.
Did you actually go and see them?
We went to Wembley to see him. I love Oasis. I love sort of like Blur, all that sort of that music from that era. But that night, at Wembley, it was so magical, and there was something in that air that night. Everybody was singing, everybody knew what the songs, and it brought everybody together. And I've never experienced that before. I've been to over 200 plus concerts. My hearing's not the best anymore, and I should have probably put earplugs in. But yeah, I mean, it's different experiences like that. So yeah, I'll come back to Bruce. My youngest is 16. He's taken up the guitar now. He plays. He's got a band he plays in, and I think one of his favourite bands is Wonder Horse. So I was used to pick him up from school, and Dad, can you put it on? I'll put it on the radio for him, and I'll listen to it. So I've got to know a lot of the songs as well. So I think they're a band to watch. I think they're on Wonder Horse. But so I listen to sort of different ranges of music. I think it was the anniversary of Bowie's death recently. I mean, I was lucky enough, I saw Bowie briefly, and I think it was Net Aid back in 1999, and I'm glad I saw him when I did, But again, he's somebody who's always been there through the sort of my musical sort of journey, great entertainer, So it's, a little bit of jazz. I listen to John Coltrane. Sometimes I I remember like in the 90s, it was like the musical magazines at times like what you must listen to, and in a way you discover things that way, don't you? I'll probably never pick that up, and you put the CD in, you listen to it, you experience it, whatever, Miles Davis possibly, So I listen to everything, and I've got Frank Sinatra. I've got my vinyl collection on the floor behind me, so there's a big chunk of Frank Sinatra in there as well, So it's a bit of everything really, but it's strange. I think probably during lockdown, when we had that time to think about life and probably music, there was a lot of songs I hadn't played for a long time, and they certainly take you back to a moment in your time, don't they? A moment in time in your life, and the music's like that.
They certainly do. Well, I have to say, Paul, it's been great chatting to you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for giving us the inspiration, your time as mayor, and I'm sure all the charities would have enjoyed your visits and your engagement, which is the thing that came across to me.
Okay. Lovely to chat to you again, Ian, and obviously we're going to stay in touch, okay?
Thank you. Yeah, we will do. Good.
See you soon. All the best.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
What a fascinating story that was. And I really enjoyed the bit where he showed his true enthusiasm, passion, his humble beginnings and how he became mayor. I'm particularly proud of the town in which he's lived, grown up in, and served as mayor. Great to hear. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any suggestions for other people that I could interview as part of Executive Grooves, just let me know, drop me a message, and I'll take care of the rest. And for now, that's a wrap. Thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it.